This is the 10th week of our second class, our second 10-week 6 Steps to Success class, which we run on Tuesday afternoon from 2 to 4 o'clock. And we have 3 of our graduate associates from that class. 2 will be actually making formal presentations, starting with Mary Forbes. Second will be Victor Clark. Third, the half will be Candy, who has gone all the way through the program to step 6, but now we're back at step 3, reevaluating how big she wants to make her next venture. And we'll figure that out as we go forward. And then we've got a return from class 1. Our star from class 1 is Nicole Walcott, who will give you an update on her project downtown at 311 Hay Street. So we got a lot to cover in the next 50 minutes. Let's get started with Mary, and her project is called the Bloom, B-L-O-O-M, Community Project. She's going to build a community for homeless and disabled veterans.
I don't need to say anything, he's got it. Thank you, Brett. As he stated already, my name is Mary Forbes, and I'm the founder of Bloom Community Project. And the reason for this is that, you know, and this is a community for homeless and disabled veterans. They have lost their dream, or have not, they don't know what it is anymore. And so what we want to do is bring those all the resources that we have in the community, bring them to them so that they can now start to find skill sets and a foundation in order to grow and be in the community again. Oh, Lord. Sorry. So basically what I was saying again, this is what our mission statement is, to basically help them find that dream and to move forward with being in the community. And we want to do it in a very holistic way. Maybe. Okay, we're not working. Okay, Bloom is a nonprofit, and again, we're dealing with, well, my mother has 13 acres of land. It's undeveloped land. We want to ensure that that land becomes developed and bring on there. If you've ever seen something like a senior living facility, where it has a hub in the middle, so basically all their resources and laundry, cafeteria, any resources, computer, things like that is in the center. And then the housing would be on the outside. Probably 2 to a room, they would have their own room and probably share a bathroom. At this particular point, they're telling me that we could probably have maybe 10 to 15 units with this building. Also, so it would look something of this nature. In the front, maybe something like this towards the back. We're thinking of a whole wellness type. So this is, my ideal is to have a pool in the back and a saltwater pool for the disabled, for them to do their exercises to rebuild their bodies. Also have a shelter on the top because, of course, moving in and out, if it's raining, any kind of inclement weather, that they would be able to get in and out without too many issues and too many problems. But again, here would be some of the ideas of what would be inside, excuse me, what would be inside the hub. This is not so easy. Okay, this would also have a warehouse where we would, they would be building or restoring furniture, where we help them to restore their spirit. So we want to see them, we want them to see how something that's old and damaged and dilapidated can now, they've worked on it, and now it's something beautiful again and something that they usable again, just like they are. So then we move into the gardens. We would have gardens. They would sow the seeds, bring the seeds up, bring the plants, eat the food from there, and then maybe even use that to do a business, maybe something like a food truck, where I was thinking maybe we could do soups. We could serve soups in the food truck. So this is something that's nutritious for them. It's nutritious for people the community that we're serving, and okay. Also have a service animal refuge. They have people sometimes need animals in order to take care of, feel warm and cuddly. And so they'll be helping to train these animals and some of them they can keep, and then some that they would give away. Again, I am missing things. I'm so sorry. This would be some of the landscaping that would be in there, so that they would have some areas where they could just meditate, walk through. They didn't feel like it was, they felt at home, that they would feel at home. Okay. Sorry about this. I'm a little disjointed today. Okay. We're working on the 4 categories of their individual health: physical, financial, intellectual, and spiritual, emotional, that kind of thing. Because nowadays we seem to give off this, oh, we'll give you a house, we'll give you some money. However, when you give somebody something and they don't know what to do with it, they can't maintain it. Our aim is to make sure that they have the skill sets and a foundation in order to maintain what they have. That way that they're trusting of themselves to handle it. And isn't that what everybody wants? We're all just one crisis away from being maybe where they are. And wouldn't we want somebody to help us through that and help navigate through that, instead of saying, go over here and find that resource, go over there and find that resource. We bring the resources to them, and then they can feel better as they grow. This is a up to 2-year transitional housing, and they will have different stages in which they grow. Some will grow faster, some won't grow, but also at the same time they will have to fill out a form in order to find out if this is something that they could progress with. Not everyone is going to want this type of project, and not everybody's able to do this kind of project, but whoever is able to do that, we would like for them to come and enjoy this up to 2-year time frame, so that they have all of the resources that they need. We have a community that has so many different resources. We have colleges, we have universities that a lot of their enrollment are veterans. So why shouldn't they give something back? And also they can get internships. The schools can get internships from this. My mother has the land, and so on this land, this is out in Hope Mills, if anybody knows the area. And the total funding will probably be around $3.5 million to start from scratch. We're talking about clearing the land, we're talking about cultivating it, the buildings that we need, and getting started with everything. We'll be working with the VA. We'll be working with DAV. Just a second. I'm sorry, and Family Endeavors, all of the resources we can in order to get the people in, get our clients and our veterans in. And our marketing strategy is not to beat anybody out. This is just another way for people to take care, another component. We just want everybody to come in and help us. We want to start off also by videotaping the project and presenting it in different forms of media. Maybe it be social media, television, or anything, but we want to make sure that we are very visible and that people also know that we're not trying to do anything that's disruptive or wrong in any way, that they see it, that we're very transparent. Okay, and sustainability. As I said before, we want to utilize the U.S. government. Fort Bragg, Fayetteville is the home of Fort Bragg. Come on, so why haven't we had something like this before? We want to use the VA, the DAV, our surrounding university and colleges, our fraternities and sororities. Also, our churches. We have so many churches, and they can also help. And they will help us with the money, the goods and food and services, and all of the facilities in which all of the resources or all of the projects that we're looking to do with them, they will aid in those projects. fundraising through other organizations and other channels. And we might even use Mr. Stephen Cohan's organization, maybe partner up with him. I think would be a great idea since they already have the mental health facility that they helped Cape Fear build. I want to thank you guys for listening to everything that I had to say, and I hope that you join with me in helping see Bloom succeed. Thank you.
We have 5 minutes for questions.
Yes.
Is your organization a 501c3?
It will be, yes ma'am. I have not put the paper, yes ma'am. This idea has just started maybe April. So I've been trying to just put the idea and make sure that the idea is a workable idea first. Yes ma'am.
Are you aware that you have to get licensure approval from the state
Yes.
and federally as well?
Yes ma'am. Yes ma'am. I've been down to zoning and everything from the land. It's going to be a very big project. And yeah, you don't just start, you can't just start it and not have any political and state.
It sounds like a great idea.
Thank you. Yes ma'am.
I too agree it's a great idea. How are you going to select the residents? Like, what's the process? And also, are you going to be dealing with the mental health aspect of things and making sure that you have people who are healthcare providers?
That is correct. That's why we break it down into the categories, and we will have specialized people to help in each category. I'm only one person. I have the idea, but I don't have the expertise in all of this. So I have an idea of the way that I would like for it to go, but then they will tell, the experts will tell me that. That's why we have all of the university and colleges I can bring them into, and they can help me to structure something that's appropriate. Excuse me. They can help me structure something that's appropriate for the intake. I'm so sorry. My sinuses are bothering me. Draining. To help in an intake situation. Also the military and family endeavors. All of them have some kind of structure right now. So they'll help me to figure out who is best suited for this particular project. Not everybody's going to be. Not everybody's going to want to be, because this is more of a socialization type area. So not everybody's going to want to be able to socialize, and I realize that. Yes, sir.
Hey, Mary.
Yes.
I think it's a beautiful idea. It's definitely long overdue. My two questions are surrounding the idea that in the individuals you put on the slide regarding who you're going to be partnering with, such as the VA, DAV, I noticed that the local businesses was missing from that list.
Oh, definitely. Oversight.
Okay.
Oversight.
This is, and my question would be, have you considered, based upon that financial number that you selected, the 3.5 million, that construction companies, for example, they'll do a donation of services, right, at a certain expense, right, so that you wouldn't necessarily have to raise the money. You just get the vendors to say, hey, I will do $1 million worth of construction work towards your project. And if you do that, and you get a letter of intent to that effect, then you can go to the IRS and say, look, I have a pending donation of services of $1 million. And the IRS will speed your 501c3 status so that you can get your project moving forward.
I did not know to that extent. I did know that they could possibly help donate. I just didn't know to what extent, so I wanted to make sure that I had enough money, however, if someone did not.
Yeah, because I think that would be the easiest way, especially since you're going for a community feel, to get local businesses. And I know people could help with accredited education, financial education, wellness, some of those components. So I think getting local businesses on board to do a donation of services might reduce your ask.
I agree. I agree with you very much, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Your vision, you have a vision for something that can really be successful and get it up and running.
Thank you. And actually, I want it to be a model for not only the disabled and homeless veterans, disabled and homeless people, the juvenile setting with group homes type of thing. We need to stop putting a Band-Aid over these gaping wounds and really get in there and work and make sure that there are whole people going out here. We don't have, we're just throwing people back out into the world. I'm so sorry. I'm crying. We're throwing people back into the world and they say, and get it, do it. Why haven't you got there yet? That's what we're here to help. We're here to help each other. The experience of life is to help one another to grow and be more.
Okay, we need to shut it.
Have you done a GoFundMe page or Facebook? Or,
I have
you know,
not, because they told me without the 501c, I should not get any money yet.
Correct.
So I want to be, like I said, I want to be very careful,
That is
very
correct.
transparent.
Correct.
I don't want anybody to think that I'm doing anything that,
Shady.
yeah, exactly. So I'm trying to get as much knowledge as I possibly can instead of, afterwards saying, oh, I'm sorry, type of thing.
But we are looking for a board of directors. He'd be a good.
For sure, absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate it. 910-583-6971. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
All right. We now go to our next associate, who's Victor Clark. He has a company called EVA, which is named after his 3 daughters, investments. Victor's actually been in business for 4 years. What he came to us to talk about was going through our program to learn how to scale this business up to a larger size, and I'll let him talk about that.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing? I'm Victor Clark. Thank you for that introduction. Basically, I'm a retired soldier. I was in the military for 25 years. I've been doing real estate for at least 10 or 15. But what I found was, when I came to Fort Bragg as a young soldier, 25 years old, I wanted to buy a house. I wanted the American dream. What happened was, I went into a realtor set me down, and bam, first thing he did was looked at my finance and said, you don't qualify. Okay? Pretty much kicked me out of his office. He had somebody else standing by. Okay? I'm lost. Okay? How do I get the American dream? So what I want to do is, first I want to educate people. I want to change the trend for soldiers, civilians, young people, and I want them to learn how to buy, how to be a part of the American dream. Is it just for the upper middle class, the upper class? No, it's for everybody. But everybody does not understand what it takes to buy a house, what it takes to maintain a house. Why, when they say 33% income ratio, you believe that you can buy that much house. That was the collapse of the economy in 2008, because people was buying too much house. They didn't understand that you still have to keep the lights on. You still have to pay for maintenance. What happens when the roof caves in? What happens when the air conditioner goes out? You are charged with that maintenance charge. You can't call mama, you can't call daddy, you can't call the landlord. Now you have to fix it. So what we have to do, and what I would like to do, is I would like to educate people and allow them to dream the American dream. That's just the disclaimer. That's the mission statement.
I'm sorry, I am so sorry for interrupting.
Go ahead.
Can you lower the music?
I don't know how to operate this to lower the music. It's putting you to sleep.
No, it's hard to me.
Too much focus on.
Okay, thank you.
All right. You can just mute the computer.
Yeah.
Just mute it.
From where?
Go to the top. There you go.
Yeah,
Go to
yeah,
Paul.
we like the music. Yeah, it captured your attention. Stay focused on the presentation.
Okay.
Go ahead, you don't have much time.
I know.
Okay.
Looking for a minute. Let's go.
The most important part, as most of you already know, because most of you sitting here look like homeowners. You look like you have the American dream. Okay? Well-educated people. Great. But the most important part is getting that person in there, sitting them down, educate them. Okay? So when you buy a house, you have to go into it. You have to know everything about it. In order for me to be an investor, I have to go in there and I have to bring people in. The first thing I bring in is a termite inspector. You bring that termite inspection in because that's the most important part. If the structure of the house or the foundation of the house is torn up from termites, or the foundation is messed up, then you have a problem. Then I'm not going to be successful in my flip. because that's what I want to end up doing. I want to give it back to a soldier, and I want to give it to them in great shape, so that they can go in, live in there with their family, and in 2 or 3 years, turn around, sell the house, rent the house out, and it's a great investment. I talked about my home buying experience. I talked about my transition. When I left Fort Bragg, I went to Fort Benning to be a drill instructor. But while I was being a drill instructor, my house back here in Fayetteville was being torn up by renters. The people that was renting the house out wasn't doing a great job of inspecting the house, making sure that the people was paying the rent. So while I was trying to do my job in support of my country, I also had financial problems worrying about this house. That's another place where I want to bridge the gap. I want to be able to help that soldier when he transitioned to another duty station, saying, okay, I'm here for you. I'm still supporting you. Yes, I sold you the house. Yes, I'm renting the house out to you. Or yes, I'm lease auctioning the house out for you. But I'm going to go in there and keep focus on that soldier. It's not going to be, okay, I sold you the house. When's the last time you heard from your lawyer? They sold you a house 5 years ago. When is the last time you heard from them? You don't hear from them. Because guess what? They got their money, they got their commission, and they're gone. I'm going to be there to sustain that house. And that's also how I'm going to keep my customers. Returning to Fort Bragg, the house was tore up. I had to put money back into it. Okay, these are just opportunities that investors will have to put money into the house. Unlike other investment opportunities, it's long range. Okay, you invest money, you have to wait for the business to make money, you get a little bit of money at a time. What happens in real estate is short-term investment. As I flip the house or as I rent the house out, you get your money back. What I'm going to do for your investment is 90 to 180 days is going to be the return on your investment. So therefore, I'm going to guarantee that I put a great project back on the market in a great location so it can sell or rent out or lease option. $30-30 plan. Basically, this is how I'm buying the houses. The house is, let's just say a round number, the house is $100,000. Basically, I'm going to buy the house for somewhere between $30,000 and $45,000. Okay? That way, I'm going to only put $30,000 back into it, and it's going to fluctuate to add up to 60%. I'm going to try to sell the house for somewhere around 30% return. That other 10% is that buffer, okay? And we all know, dealing with real estate, things can go wrong. You open the door, the door falls off. You pull the cabinet out, there's termites behind the cabinet. The inspectors don't always catch everything. So these things are gonna happen. Okay, that's the investments assumptions. Basically, those are the people that's in my market. Pretty much the key to my success is doing it the right way. Getting upfront financing from lines of credit. Going in there, doing the proper work, making sure that everything is right. I want you to walk into a house. My main point is for someone to walk into a house, a young person, a new homeowner, and have no problems for at least 180 days.
Questions for 5 minutes?
So Victor, what determines whether you will flip the house or rent the house,
Basically, the market.
the market?
Basically, I would love to flip the houses because the longer I maintain it, the more money I have to pay. I have to pay for that loan. The next step is lease option. I would try to bring someone in there that wants to own a home, that can't own a home, that has a little bit of money to put down. And then, last but not least, if that doesn't work, then I would rent it out. But the key to all of that is pretty much location. Location of the house. Basically, school districts, low crime areas, sell houses.
And so are you looking outside investors? Because you mentioned return on investment. Exactly what is your return on investment?
I haven't decided that yet.
You haven't decided.
But I think that's gonna be case by case, by the house, which house. Some houses need more work, some houses need less work. So I would have to break that down by, okay, which house and how much, it would take to bring it up to code.
So Victor, so your business is investors who are interested in buying a house for the purposes of income generation from that house through one of those three areas of flipping the house, leasing the house, or renting the house. Is that the core?
Basically, my business is flipping houses.
Okay.
Okay, those three things are options if the house doesn't flip
Correct.
within a certain period of
So
time.
the services that you're providing are to someone who's interested in investing money to flip a house?
Yes.
Ideally?
Yes.
That's your ideal market?
Yes.
Because I noticed in your mission statement, your introduction was very, very gripping to me because I believe you're 100% accurate about educating people. And I think it would be well, right, if you're not just educating the investors who are trying to flip the house, but even people who are buying houses, I think that can also give you a nurture your own market.
That is my intent.
Okay.
That's my intent.
And you mentioned location, location, location. Are you only interested in areas in Fayetteville? I know I had you as a student, and we've had a lengthy conversation about this, so I'm just curious, have you expanded your
Yes.
ideas to different areas, or?
I have bought houses in tax sales in Washington DC. I have several houses in Washington DC. The market is totally different from Fayetteville. The market is more more numbers. When I say more numbers, more price. You can't get anything in DC for under $250,000.
Right.
So yes, but what I want to concentrate on first is Fayetteville. I want to build in Fayettille and then maybe go outside of Raleigh, Charlotte, and so on.
Are you active currently in a flip house right now? Do you have one that's in process?
Yes.
Okay. And what's the success or progress of it?
The success is great. The learning curve is steep. When I say the learning curve is steep, I have someone that's mentoring me. Kevin Savage. He's a fellow student. He's been doing flipping for the last 20 years. He's also a fellow soldier that works construction, and he has flipped about 10 or 15 houses. And so he's going along. When I say it's steep, he's charging me it's a 40-50, 40-60 split.
Okay.
Where I get 60%, he gets 40. So it's very steep, but it's a good learning curve.
Do you know that Cumberland County has a first-time homes buyers program?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And you would help them?
And another thing that I like doing is if I get someone in their lease option, and I've done several lease options. After I bring them in and they sign the contract, the first step I do is take them to a mortgage company. And the mortgage company sits them down and tell them exactly what they need to do in order to qualify for that loan in a year or 2 years.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Thank you, Victor.
Thank you.
So if there's no time, I don't know.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Okay.
So Nicole is coming up from class number 1 to update us on what she's doing downtown, 311 Hay Street with floating shanty. while she's getting ready, I just want to say that all of our presenters are either military or military family. And out of our first class, we had 9 military out of 10 students. Out of our second class, 6 military out of 8 students. And we're signing up the third class right now, which starts October the 3rd. And so far, the first 5 that have signed up are all military. The other thing that I think is really important while Nicole is making her way up here is that all of these students, or I call them associates of our classes, who you're hearing from, are going to keep their businesses in Fayetteville. We're building value in Cumberland County and in Fayetteville with this class that we're teaching. And I think that's quite good, because I heard a lot about students leaving school and going someplace else to start a business, veterans not staying in the Fayetteville, Cumberland County marketplace. But we seem to be attracting people into our class who are actually wanting to stake out their lives here and build their businesses here in Fayetteville and Cumberland County. And I think that's pretty exciting.
Hi everyone. If you don't remember me from the first time I presented, my name is Nicole Walcott. I am the CEO of Floating Shanty, and I am just going to give everyone a little update about what is going on with our company. We've had some amazing successes. Also, we've had some hurdles to overcome. Nothing that is unsurmountable, but things that need more explanation. So we'll go into that. But so for anyone that wasn't here for my first presentation, my company is a holistic wellness company. We are now located downtown on 311 Hay Street. We offer flotation therapy, massage therapy, reflexology, private yoga lessons, and we actually just hired on an energy healer, so something called Reiki if you're not familiar with it. And quickly, just because I know that we're on some time limits, so if you are not familiar with flotation therapy, what flotation therapy is you are in a pod or a tank. It has 11 inches of body temperature water and 1,200 pounds of Epsom salt. So the density of the water is so great that it pushes your body up, and you will actually lay effortlessly on the water. So this is great for chronic pain relief. We look at it for active duty and veterans for PTSD and TBI. The tank is also completely dark and completely soundproof. So this allows you to cut out all external stimuli, and it allows your brain to completely reset. Something that we found through our trials and tribulations is that we understand the community that we're serving. I'm not going to stick any of my veterans in a dark, soundproof tank and see what happens. So we now have a different tank that has options for ambient lighting. So there is a button right next to you if you feel at any point in time that you would like some ambient lighting, which you can see in the picture in the background here. You can have that. Also, we have options to play music in the tank too. So if you are not able to do the full therapy, you can still get the benefits of the zero gravity. However, then you can also ease yourself into it. So we are, oh, no, not again. Okay, I'm gonna just do it this way. So construction is underway. We are really excited to be able to completely transform the space, and I should have put a picture of what it looked like before. Would have been a good thing. Hindsight is 20/20, right? So the first thing we did was tear up this terrible flooring. We're gonna put beautiful wood flooring in. We completely ripped the ceiling down, so we will have, that actually gave us about 4 feet on the height of the building, or of the space. We have some more pictures here of some of the walls coming up. Now, coming to our first hurdle. So construction has stopped right now. We are waiting on approval from the health department. So if anyone has ever dealt with the health department, they may know that they're not the easiest people to deal with. And normally when a business opens, they don't have to worry about that until, you know, the last couple of weeks before they open. However, with what we're doing, the health department is not quite sure where to classify us, and God forbid we weren't classified somewhere. So they're putting us in with pools and spas, which is fine. However, float tanks are completely different because they're self-enclosed. So a lot of the rules that pools and spas have to follow, we are working with them to discuss why we don't need to follow them. Perfect example is they want us to put a no diving sign in. We only have 11 inches of water. It's much easier to not fight with them, and we're going to embrace it and have a great no diving sign, or say dive at your own risk, something along those lines. And it's very laughable, and we talk to the people all the time. The local Cumberland County guy, Fred Thomas, he knows me by name, he knows my phone number, he probably has me on a do not call list. But so, that is, it's funny and it's not a big deal. But then you have other things like your piping schematics and bigger hurdles. So we met with our general contractor and our architect, and we said we're going to put a hold on the construction until we get either a hard approval or a very strong indication of approval from the health department, because we don't want to drill holes in concrete, put drains in, get everything done, and then they say, that needs to move 4 inches to the right.
Yeah.
So we decided that we were going to do that. We have had our first pass through with the health department. They told us what they wanted changed, what they liked. It was fine. We finally got everything back together with more architectural drawings of the tank, with more piping schematics, and we finally resubmitted on Monday, which was my birthday, which was the best birthday present ever. So we're looking now at another 1 to 2 weeks to get another response back from the health department. Our tank manufacturers and our architects are very, very confident that this will be our final pass-through, and then we can continue with construction. So I am a very positive person, and originally when all this happened, I was kind of down in the dumps, and I wasn't sure what to do, and so I had just said, well, what am I doing? Like, let's focus on the other parts of our business. So it's kind of been a blessing in disguise. So we have decided to focus more on our corporate wellness, and that has actually been a niche that we have surprisingly been exploding in. I'm sorry, one more thing. So this is our tank. Because we didn't actually have any renderings the first time that I presented, I wanted to give you guys a look at what the tank looks like. So if you can see here, it's completely self-enclosed, which is why some of these things are so silly to me. And this is what it would look like when you walk into it. So you step up into the tank, and this is just the little pan kind of where you lie. So this is 11 inches of water. And here's also some more pictures of what the tank can look like. So the front of the tank is completely customizable to whatever the shower looks like. So it's actually the third wall of your shower. So these are just some different float centers that have different stuff on the front. And so I thought that would be really good for you guys to be able to see what it looks like, because I know that all of you are coming to float when we're open. So here's a picture of somebody floating. And then you have another picture of somebody floating. Okay, so expansion of our corporate wellness programs. Everyone on here we are either currently working with or in contracting with. If you see on your upper left-hand corner, this is obviously where we are right now. So we will have some free yoga classes coming to all FTCC staff and employees on Saturdays. We can't tell you exactly when it's going to start. We're still kind of in talks with that. And then also another great thing is that we are implementing a yoga program into the daycare here at FTCC. So we've had a great response from our preliminary go-around with the parents wanting to bring more things into the daycare. So we're really excited about that. I recently went up to Raleigh to a Veterans Procurement Summit for Veterans in Business. I had an amazing feedback from some companies in Raleigh like Cisco and FHI, and we actually are speaking with the city of Raleigh to duplicate what we're doing here in the city of Fayetteville. So right now we have a contract with the city of Fayetteville. All of the employees are offered a yoga class once a week for the year of 2017 to 2018. So it started back in July, and it will roll to July of next year. And Raleigh was really impressed by what we were doing, plus it is something that corporations, municipalities, anyone that's offering any type of a private insurance program, they have to offer some type of a wellness program. Yoga is very becoming mainstream, and all these people want to kind of hop on board. So the bottom three are who we're currently working with, and everybody else we are talking to, either in contracts, negotiating, things like that. So it has been a blessing in disguise that things have slowed down with the flotation side, and we've been able to ramp up with our corporate wellness side. So we found this great little niche that we weren't even sure we were going to be able to fulfill. And I think that, oh, and community involvement. So what I've been doing to try to educate people is I've just been getting out there and I've been talking to whoever will sit down for 5 minutes and listen to me. So here's a picture. We presented at the chamber at one of their lunch and learns. We actually have now here, that's LeClaire's General Store, which is right down the street if you're not familiar with it. We now run a yoga and wine series there every third Thursday of the month, or fourth Thursday of the month. There's more wine than yoga, so that's always a benefit. And that was actually a picture from our first class. We did almost zero marketing, and we were full to capacity. So it's definitely a need there. And then this is a picture of us set up in front of our location for 4th Friday last month. We had a great feedback. We have, thanks to Brad, an amazing little water sample so people can actually feel the density of the water. And it's something that I joke about all day long. I could talk to you until I'm blue in the face about what flotation therapy is and how beneficial it is. But until you put your hands in that water and you feel how dense that water is, it's like a light bulb goes off in your head, and all of a sudden they go, yeah, I need to get in there now. And then we did we partnered with Breakthrough Physical Therapy, who is going to be a fantastic lifelong partner with us. And we did a dry needling and flotation therapy clinic actually just last Saturday. And I think, oh no, one more. So this was from the Procurement Summit in Raleigh, and then we actually were out at the Coast to Coast Ride for the Fallen. So these guys that were ex-military, had a friend die, they now do a motorcycle ride from California to Fort Bragg, and they raise a ton of money for their organization, Coast to Coast, and it's great. So I think that's actually it. But thank you guys so much, and it's good to see familiar faces, and thank you.
I did not hear your first presentation.
Okay.
So my question is, since you're calling yourself a wellness center, I'll say, how comprehensive are your services?
Yeah.
What else are you offering besides floating?
So we have floating, we have massage therapy, we have reflexology, we do private yoga lessons, we don't offer any group classes, and it's more on the therapy side. We offer Reiki, which is the energy healing, and then all of our services are actually overseen by a medical director. We've hired on a, I guess you would call him ex-military. He's just transitioning out of the Air Force. He was a flight surgeon in the Air Force, and now he is coming on board as our medical director, and he will be overseeing all of our services to make sure that what we are doing is not anecdotal science, it's backed by actual scientific research. So if you come in and you have sciatica and you say that that is one of your ailments, we know that if we are telling you that we are recommending a 60-minute float followed by a 20-minute reflexology appointment, we have science to back that up that says that that will help you. Yes?
Will your services be covered by insurance?
Yes and no. So some of our services are, some of our services aren't. So medical massage, which is what we offer, is covered by insurance. And then reflexology is on its way to be covered by insurance. Everything else is not. However, as an industry, we are vying to be able to get flotation therapy covered by insurance. And right now, we're probably looking like 5-ish years out on the more conservative end.
Also probably be beneficial that it's covered by your flex spending as well, because I think like massage envy takes flex spending, and I know a lot of people go there to use that. So
yeah, that'll be a game changer once we can get it covered by insurance. Yeah.
How many flotation tanks will you have in the
Perfect. So we are starting off small. We have 1 flotation tank and we have 2 therapy rooms. Hay Street will always be our flagship location. We really believe in Fayetteville and downtown, and we want to see it prosper, especially with the baseball stadium and all of the investment that's coming downtown. So we will always stay there. We would like to possibly expand and take over one of the businesses next to us. However, if that's not possible, then once we reach capacity, which given our numbers will be within 6 months to a year, we will be looking at other locations in Fayetteville to be able to kind of branch out. So probably North Fayetteville, somewhere near Post, and then we'll move up to Raleigh, because if you weren't here for the first presentation, we are the only float center, so the only one that has a float tank in a 90-mile radius. So we have no direct competition when it comes to that. Yes.
Nicole, what other states has this been popular in?
So it's actually all over the United States. You see it a lot in California. They have a lot in the Midwest. Actually, North Carolina has 6 float centers. They're not anywhere near us, but which is good for our business. But so yeah, so you see it a lot, and it's becoming more popular because you have a lot of pro athletes that are now endorsing it. Like, I'm gonna really embarrass myself.
Steph Curry.
There you go. Okay, I got it. The Patriots have put a float tank in their physical recovery center. And then you also have actually our contractor is a huge CrossFitter. He actually owns part of a local CrossFit gym. Sent me a picture and said, oh, it's the infamous float tank. I finally have seen it. And they were featuring it on the CrossFit Games because these big CrossFitters are now using it for recovery.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm excited about what you're offering.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Cool.
But I have to tell you, I think there's a missing component.
Okay.
That if I was a customer trying to decide where to go, I would look for, and that is the nutrition component and supplement component.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think that if I have aches and pains, if I go float, I'm treating the symptom, but not the underlying cause. And I think that's so critical.
Yeah, absolutely. We're always looking to expand our services. We've thought about nutrition, also bringing in an acupuncturist because that is covered by insurance, and same thing with a chiropractor. So we're always having those discussions, and we're always open to speaking with someone who offers those services.
One last question.
Oh.
It might sound kind of odd, but if you have like a release form or something, is it stated on the release form that Epsom salt is magnesium sulfate? Because there are some people, like myself, I have a really high sulfur allergy, and so some people might not immediately put together, oh, I might be allergic to this, and have a bad allergy.
Yep, so that's one of the things that we educate people on is what exactly Epsom salts are, because for you it may be an issue, but for a lot of other people, women are actually normally deficient in magnesium, and magnesium is used for a lot of bodily functions. So we do state that on there, and we also make sure that people are aware of exactly what the therapies include and things like that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll wrap up by just reminding you that October 3rd is our last 10-week 6 Steps to Success class of the year. October 3rd is a Tuesday. The class is here in this building in room 215 from 2 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So please tell your friends, or if you happen to be sitting in the front row like this young lady who's already signed up, Aurora, we will have a class of about 12 students, we hope. We're about halfway there right now, so tell anybody that might be interested, Lori, to sign up. Thank you.